Good day, Kevin. Hey, don't be a lurker now, you creepers. I see that there's 7 of you here. You guys can say hi. Oh, what up, Daniel? Hey, A-Push. Well, you have to say hi so I know you're here so I can count you for attendance. I know some of us aren't thrilled about the raffle prizes, but... It's like the only thing I don't like about YouTube is the delay. All right, let's see who else is here. You there? Stephanie, I guess, ... Bruh moment number 678 _ 67 audio. Yo, A-Push folks, make sure not to scare the AP World people. Oh, what up, Brittany? What up, whoever J6 dub whoever that is. Taylor! Wendy! Oh, they don't like me very much right now, guys. You know how it is. You know how it is early on in AP World. Roberto, good day. I didn't do anything. I'm actually super nice. They only have to read 1 chapter a week, guys. But that's been a struggle. Oh, that I do know, Stephanie. Be nice, Taylor. About 2/3 of them do their homework. They complain about it a lot, though. You know how it be. All right, real talk though. If you are here, I need you to say hi in the chat. I see that there's like 20 to 21 of us. It is the easiest way for me to take attendance, and I need to take attendance in the first few minutes here. So as you come in, make sure you find the handout that I posted on the Teams page. That's going to be like our small group activity for today. It's going to be vocabulary centric. For you A-Push folks, man, you're going to have to reach way back to the beginning of the year. I'm so sorry. You guys have a tremendous challenge. And AP World, luckily, not so far back. We got to go back to January. But make sure you find, it should be like a matching trio. Should be the name of the assignment. You might want to preview that. Make sure you have your notes available. For you A-Push folks, make sure you have your key concepts open. My AP World folks, we call them historical developments, so get those out. And yeah. Taylor, quit scaring people. I told you not to do this. Although I think Mr. Drewinski is teaching A-Push next year. Miley! Gustavo, what up? Yeah, guys, hey, some of your names are like not your name. So again, if you are here for the tutorial, I need you to like say hello so I can mark you present. That would be awesome if you did that for me. Yes, I'm teaching next year. AP World and US. Ashley, what up? Oh, you too, Angel. I hope you guys have some coffee nearby. Richard's a legend, guys. You're in the presence of greatness. Oh, what up, Abigail? Is your sister here too? Paging Natalie. Roberto's a legend for frequently not showing up to class or doing the homework, but still passing the exam. So I guess that does make you a legend. I miss you 8-push folks, man. I hope you guys are doing well. I even miss you, Roberto. Gabby! What's up with you? Yo, I'm feeling like some of my AP World folks are not announcing themselves. Hold on. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm missing like 3 of us. Oh, too early. It's actually later than normal class. I mean, I don't really know what sleep is anymore because I have a baby at home, so. That's all irrelevant to me, Brenda. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get started because some people are going to watch this recording. If you have not dropped anything in the chat yet, I don't know you're present. Well, Brittany, it's just an hour early. I'm glad you're here, Brittany. All right, so a couple things. A-push, your exam is May 18th. That is rapidly approaching. All right. AP World, your exam is June 3rd. All right. It will be online. All right. And, oh, what up, Marcella? Yo, real talk. I'm going to try to get Miss Gounder to let us on campus for one of these Saturdays, at least like outside or something. Like we could sit at the picnic tables or like spread out on the grass. And then I will have kolaches and donuts. Don't be jealous, Stephanie. Technically, the AP World exam is always like a week or 2 after A-push, so. All right. So the good thing about having you guys both here is there's some things that basically, and I was trying to explain this to the AP World group the other day. The format of the exam is the exact same. So the only thing that's really different between AP World and AP US is the type of history that you're studying. So it is going to be online this year. There are a lot of questions about like, are we going to have to show up on campus? I don't know the answer to that yet. All right. So what I do know, all right, is that both AP World and AP US will have a multiple choice section. it will be 55 questions in 55 minutes. And so those of you who remember the unit exams know that, you get 1 minute per question. They come in sets of like 3 to 4 questions per source. It's a mix of primary and secondary sources, some maps, some graphs, some images, some written text. All right. So if you guys have taken a unit exam, you should know what this looks like. All right. Now, here's where things sort of get weird. All right. There's actually going to be 2 different short answer question sections. All right. For you A-push folks, there will not be an LEQ. All right. I didn't even have to tell the AP World folks about the LEQ because there's not another essay. All right. So the first short answer section, all right, is going to be as follows. It's going to be basically primary sources. All right. There's going to be a question, all right, that is a primary source text. And so kind of like an extended document that you might see on a DBQ. Question 2 is going to be a map. All right. And then question 3 is going to be some primary source image, probably like a painting, all right, or a picture of a building, all right, something to that effect. All right. Then, now you're not going to get a choice of short answers. You're going to get 3 questions and 40 minutes to do it. So again, that's why the unit exam, like timing expectations are so extreme. Because that comes out to like 13 minutes per short answer question set. So you have to be moving pretty quickly on this short answer question. My understanding, and we'll go over this as the exam gets closer with like the technical details. My understanding is that the computer program that they're going to use for you to take your exam will have like breaks built into it. So for instance, after the multiple choice, they'll probably give you a break. After the short answer, they'll probably give you a break. One thing you need to be aware of, though, is like you need to make sure you're back in front of your computer by the time the break is over because they will start without you. And it is a timed exam, so you don't have any time to waste. So don't go far. All right. Then you're going to get 60 minutes to do a DBQ. Now, here's the one disadvantage, guys, to not having a long essay. A-push, if you remember, the way the essay section was supposed to work is you were supposed to have 100 minutes to do both essays, both the DBQ and the LEQ. And we talked about how strategically you could probably steal a little bit of time from the long essay because it's easier to write and maybe spend up to 70 minutes on your DBQ. You no longer have that luxury. All right. The DBQ is its own section of the exam. It will be 1 hour tight, 60 minutes only. All right, so we need to be a little bit strategic about sort of how we address that. Now, the DBQ for AP World is only on topics from 1450 to 2001. They won't ask anything about the 90s, don't worry. All right, so basically the first 2 units of the year will not be tested there. So that is a good thing. All right. For you A-push folks, they also cut out the first couple of units for the DBQ. It's only going to be 1754, all right, to 2000. Or 1980. I forgot the exact endpoint of A-push. Cruising right along. All right. Like I said, the OGs who take this exam in paper will see a long essay, but we are doing this online. All right, so your exam, instead of having another essay, is going to have short answers. All right, you'll get 2 questions, and this will typically be the questions that we have done a lot of in class. All right. Question 5 is going to be some sort of chart, data set, table, graph that you need to interpret. So hypothetically, it could be like a graph that's showing you population or changes in production or number of women in the workforce or amount of money the government spent on something. basically they're going to give you some sort of data set that you're going to have to interpret and apply to your historical knowledge. All right, question 6, all right, is going to be what we're going to focus on in like 3 minutes. All right, this is going to be a secondary source. All right, it's going to be interpreting historians' arguments. So, if you are, I had some people join, but then I think dropped out. Again, if I haven't heard from you yet in the chat, make sure that you say hi. I think I got everyone, but I do just want to make sure. Like, I've seen the numbers go up and down on the stream. And Abby, wake up your sister. Alrighty. Now, AP World folks, I don't know if this is going to convince you to take APUSH or not. All right, but we're going to start by examining a old short answer from good old AP US History. All right, and when they say you're going to end up interpreting a secondary source and historian arguments, this is what they're referring to. All right, they're going to give you sort of 2 historians, maybe just one historian's argument about a certain historical topic. All right, and you are going to have to respond to it, all right, with evidence. And so I want to give us a couple minutes here to kind of talk about general strategies when it comes to these types of short answer questions. My AP World folks, we just talked about the American Revolution. We didn't go into as much detail, obviously, as APUSH, but hopefully you can at least sort of get the first part here, dealing with interpreting these arguments. So take about 3 to 4 minutes. I just want you to read the 2 arguments by these historians, Elaine Crane and Rosemary, I don't even know how to say her last name, Zagari. It's Italian. So if we have 12 minutes to do each short answer, I think like reading and interpreting should be 3 to 4 minutes. So in 3 to 4 minutes, I'm going to ask you to summarize each historian's argument. That should always be the first thing you do when you get these secondary sources, these historians, because they always ask you about that. So just first 3 to 4 minutes, we should be reading, and we should just be trying to summarize their arguments. So I'm going to wait 3 minutes. I feel like we need some tunes. It's awkwardly silent. Some tunes. It's awkwardly silent. It's awkwardly silent. one more minute. All right. We are interpreting these arguments, Caitlin. All right. So I'm looking for someone to drop in the chat for me. What is Dr. Crane's argument here? All right. About the American Revolution and the impact on women. I know there's a delay on my end. Oh, come on now. First source, what's the argument? It's pretty straightforward. We have two different interpretations of the effect of the American Revolution on women. I just asked for the first source, Richard. Thank you, Ayuans. Thank you. Hold on, Richard. I like what you had first. What you just put is probably a little on the vague side. It might earn credit, but I think the biggest takeaway from the first source is that, it didn't necessarily lead to any changes for women. All right. And you can see that the key there, all right, is that first sentence. The revolutionary moment was neither radical nor a watershed for American women. All right. So it's talking about how like America's commitment to patriarchal rule, all right, sort of made large-scale change all but impossible at that time and place. And so this is actually something we just talked about in AP World, so I would have liked to have heard from some of my AP World folks. And it gets to the fact that like the American Revolution really just leads to a big major change in government or in politics, all right, but there was a less notable change when it came to social structures. All right, the American Revolution doesn't lead to a lot of change when it comes to social hierarchies. We talked about some other examples of that. So somebody from AP World want to tell me what Rosemarie Zagari's argument is. We have a different interpretation of the American Revolution. And AP World, don't hold up the entire tutorial here, okay? What is the second historian arguing? Yes, perfectly good, Marcella. Yes. All right. That it kind of created new opportunities is what the author says. Women were now seen as political beings who could influence war, politics, and history. Women engaged in a variety of actions in support of the revolution. So, the second historian here has a very different interpretation of the American Revolution. And actually, for you AP World folks, a different interpretation than the one that I present in my lecture on the revolution. I tend to be more of a cynic. It's like, oh, women didn't get the right to vote. Oh, I'm giving away the next answers. So if you are attacking this particular type of short answer, all right, the key is starting with a very sort of big overview of what each author is arguing, because they will usually ask you how the arguments differ, how are they related, maybe, and then they're going to ask you to provide evidence to support each particular historian. Just a note, I think we can actually look at I don't know if this actually has examples. Let me check. So there you go. Examples of A that would earn the credit. All right. You do need to, I want to sort of, let me zoom in here. If you have a question that has two historians writing. Now, AP World folks, I just want to give you a heads up. In a lot of cases, we're going to look at one of your examples in just a second. In a lot of cases for AP World, they only give you one historian's interpretation. APUSH, you almost always see two. All right. If you do see two authors and two excerpts, please understand that if you're explaining differences, you must address both. So it wouldn't be enough to say something like Crane argues that the revolution didn't change roles for women, whereas Zagari says they do. Please forgive my typos. All right, that would not earn credit. And so actually I was kind of trolling Richard. Like the last thing Richard wrote probably wouldn't earn credit. All right. You can't just say like, you have to explicitly address both. You can't simply say, Crane argues that it didn't change roles for women, or the revolution didn't apply to women, whereas Zagari says it did. All right. You can't do a comparison like that, because you're not really telling me anything about the second historian's argument. All right. You need to say something specific about both interpretations. And so what we just wrote, I think Marcella, so if we combined sort of Richard's first answer, let me copy and paste here. I always like to use some contrast language too. The good old whereas is good, or while. Why can't I type? Oh, there we go. Oh! Oh, I didn't know there was a 200 character limit. I got it. Old man typing. Yeah, you need to say something about both. It's still the same response, Caitlin, so I'm getting thrown off by your use of the word independently, but you do need to say something specific about both arguments, yeah. All right, so a complete exemplar would be kind of what I just posted in the chat. Crane believes the American Revolution didn't benefit women because revolutionists were following the steps of Britain, making their state patriarchal, whereas Rosemarie believed that the American Revolution created a pathway for women to get more involved into politics. That in its entirety would be what we're looking for part A. All right. So you do need to sort of discuss both historians' arguments explicitly. All right. Providing some detail about both. So yes, Caitlin, you need to explain them both. Alrighty. Yep, you got it, Caitlin. Caitlin's another AP World legend, you guys. Let me move this over here. All right, part B. What do we got? So this is pretty common, all right, when you get these questions with an historian's argument. Part B is asking you to provide evidence that supports Crane. So a note, guys, please make sure that you're supporting the right author. It's very easy to maybe like mix it up, like do the opposite. So make sure you double check whose argument you're supporting. This one is asking for support for Crane. So we do need to go up and take a look at Crane's excerpt. All right, saying that the revolution did not really help women. It wasn't very radical for women. So what is sort of one event, development, or circumstance that we can use to support Crane's argument? This is probably going to be easier to answer if you're from A-Push, but my AP World people, you have an opportunity to impress me. There's a couple specific things we can point to when it comes to things like suffrage and the Declaration of Independence. I'm looking for evidence that can support Crane. Drop that in the chat, y'all. Good, Stephanie. That is a good one. That's not entirely accurate, Ions. Be careful. Okay, so yes. Declaration of Independence stated that all men are created equal. It didn't mention women. All right, women were not given the right to vote in the early democracy of the United States. And then you could talk about how women's roles were restricted to the household. That's an A-push term, Republican motherhood, so AP World, don't worry about that. All right, no need to worry about that. But we're just looking for something specific that can support this idea that the revolution did not change circumstances for women. So you got a lot of good exemplars in the chat right now if you're looking for like, how detailed do I need to be? I mean, it's still a short answer question, so there's sometimes some of you guys have a tendency to write too much. All right. The key is to name something specific and explain it. All right. And so the only thing that I might add is like maybe a more explicit connection to the argument, y'all. Like the revolution didn't necessarily change things for women because blah, blah. Yeah, I feel you, Caitlin. But you know what? The 200 character count is probably good for limiting us to it really actually does a good job making you make this a short answer question. Roberto, excellent. What happened to J6, man? What happened? So, to recap, for parts B and C on this type of question, we're looking for you to name something specific, Declaration of Independence, women's right to vote, and simply explain how it shows that the revolution did not support women. Let's see what the College Board says about correct answers here. Alrighty. So you guys did pretty, thanks Roberto. You guys did pretty good. Women could not vote. All right. Women were excluded from the Declaration of Independence. Women could not participate in political decision making. And as Caitlin says, Republican motherhood gave women authority at home in the private sphere. All right. But kept them confined there. Look at you guys. Look at you guys go. Man, this is so easy. We should all do very well on our AP exams. All right, I want to get to an AP World specific one. But it applies to the conquest of the Americas, and many of you fine A-push folks took AP World. All right, so hopefully you'll be able to sort of address it. All right. Now, like I said with AP World, it's not uncommon, you AP World folks, to get just one historian's argument, all right? But it's going to be very similar to what we just did with the A-Push folks. You're going to get an historian, he's going to be presenting an argument, and then you're going to have to sort of use your historical knowledge to sort of either support his argument, contradict his argument in some way. So we have here a, what is he, like Nordic? Icelandic? Pekka Hamalainen. I don't know. I'm going to go look. Someone look up. No, I'll do it. Where is this dude from? Sweden, maybe? Norway? I'm going to go with Iceland. Finnish, I got it wrong. Finland. I don't know if I've ever met someone from Finland. All right. Take a second to just read the source. All right. And then I'm looking for, again, when you have this type of short answer question, your first 3 to 4 minutes should be focused on reading and interpreting the source and simply summarizing the historian's argument. All right. It's similar to what we do with DBQs, right? Historians make arguments about the past. And so when we are getting a SAQ, a short answer question like this, we are looking for what are they arguing? What is their claim? That is what we're looking for here. So spend 3 to 4 minutes. That should always be like the first few minutes. All right. Just taking a look, all right, at what this source is saying. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to read and analyze.
Alrighty. So before you freak out, AP World, this particular item was not on an actual exam. It's a little bit difficult, but what is essentially the author's argument here about nomadic groups?
Well, no one sleeps at the lock-in, Brittany. Typically. Maybe we can make that happen for you guys next year. I'm looking for the general, very hostile. You're getting that's part of it, Kevin. But I mean, give me something more political. Lucky you guys. I don't remember that. I don't even remember last year. Ooh, ions. You're going to want to take another look at that. We have an author who is writing about nomadic groups. In general, guys, you need to focus, I would say for long sources, the first and last couple sentences are usually the most important. All right. It's the same way sort of I teach you guys how to write. Typically, you want to introduce sort of topics and claims at the beginning or at the end of paragraphs. And so if you think about the way that most authors write and present information, claims tend to be introduced at the beginning or sort of summarized at the end of paragraphs. And so that if you're really stuck on a particular source, that's the best way to start. All right. And so the first sentence here says nomads, the historical record shows, can evade, resist, stop, sustain, exploit, destabilize, and destroy empires. And yes, it goes on to say they can also build empires of their own. All right, so honestly, you have a general overview of the author's claim right here at the beginning. All right, again, this is a great topic sentence. Way to introduce your argument. Finnish author Peter Eichen. I don't know. I don't speak Finnish, so. And so the author introduces their claim, and then they provide evidence. What particular nomadic group are they using for evidence? Not a trick question, guys. Yes, the Comanches. All right. And did we read the source? Comanches resisted which empire? Someone from AP World. No. They resisted which empire? And Gabby, I don't want. Oh, that was a delay. Sorry, Gabby. It's the only downside to YouTube. There we go. It's Spanish. Yep. Remember that Spanish are conquering much of the Americas. All right. Sort of conquering states like the Incans and the Aztecs. All right. But they say here, all right, at the advancing edge of the world's largest empire. So the Spanish had the world's largest empire at the time, but even so, the Comanches launched an explosive expansion. All right, purchased and plundered horses. All right, gradually a momentous shift took place. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right. In the Southwest, European imperialism not only stalled in the face of indigenous resistance, it was eclipsed by indigenous imperialism. All right. So, A, B, and C here. All right. A, identify one way the author challenges commonly held assumptions about the Americas in the age of European colonialism. So, my AP World folks, think about. It goes back to what we talked about in terms of European conquering people in the Americas. Think about some sort of commonly held assumptions about this process. In what way does the author challenge those assumptions? basically, how does the author challenge the sort of traditional narrative about European conquest of the indigenous? And to be honest, even the way that I teach European colonialism in the Americas, I typically teach it with this commonly held assumption as well, which is that, what is different here? Well, let's first start. What do we think are commonly held assumptions about the Americas during European colonialism? What do we sometimes think of when we think about Europeans arriving in the Americas and interacting with the indigenous? Hold on, I want AP World folks to do it. But yes, all right. One assumption is that the indigenous were like savages. Marcel, you're kind of answering the question, so I appreciate you. But the assumption then would be that like nomadic groups and people in the Americas are not able to build empires. What are some other things we kind of assume about indigenous groups in their interactions with Europeans, especially when it comes to like conquest? And again, I'm guilty of teaching it this way as well. So but in resisting the Spanish, though, they are sort of being violent and sort of attacking the Spanish Empire. So again, for part A here, we need to sort of identify ways in which the author challenges commonly held assumptions about the Americas. And so in the age of European colonialism, so we're looking for assumptions about Americas around 1500, 1600. Typically, we think of indigenous as... I think Iwan said it, like savages, undeveloped, not advanced, all right? Or we think of it as, yes, too weak to defend themselves, yes. Or inferior to Europeans. Or easily conquered, right? So those are like the commonly held assumptions about like American societies around 1500. This idea that like indigenous groups are like underdeveloped, they're not strong enough to resist Europeans, they're conquered really easily. And I think it was Marcelo who said that by sort of showing us that this one group, the Comanche Indians of the Southwest, were able to not only resist the Spanish, but build their own empire. That does challenge these commonly held assumptions. All right. Part B. AP World folks, what is another example of a nomadic group that went from doing their nomadic thing to building a large empire? Now, I'm sure you push people probably remember some examples, but I'm looking for an AP World student to answer this one. We have discussed a couple notable examples. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, indeed. All right. You would want to explain that.
right? So you would want to say like the Mongols were a nomadic group until like united by Genghis Khan. Went on to build a vast empire across Afro-Eurasia around. You'd probably want to create like a date, but that would be a really good example. Yes, absolutely, Kevin. Ding, ding, ding. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Can we think of another nomadic empire that successfully confronted an established state? You might not remember this as much. You could technically use the Mongols for C as well, all right, but not if you use them for B, all right? There is no double dipping allowed on the AP exam, all right? So if you used Mongols for B, you cannot for C, all right? However, if you didn't use the Mongols for B, you can definitely use them for C. Which established state did the Mongols confront / conquer? There's actually two. AP World, folks? Do we remember? So Tamerlane was actually a leader of a nomadic state. So he built his own nomadic empire. That would be relevant for B, but we're looking for an established state that the Mongols conquered. There's one, Marcella. Yes, the Song dynasty in China. There's one other one. Yes, Brenda. The Mongols will also sort of deal the death blow to an Islamic state that was already in decline, but the Mongols will sort of stick in the dagger. Any of you AP US folks remember? They destroy the city, man. Yes, you're there. Nice. I see you. Indeed. So, yeah, Persia is where the Abbasid Caliphate is, Kevin. I'm not sure if they'll accept Persia. Make sure we sort of associate that with the Abbasid Caliphate. So if you didn't use the Mongols for B, you could actually answer part C here by talking about how the Mongols successfully confronted established states like the Song dynasty in China or the Abbasid Caliphate in Persia. And then that would be a perfect answer for C. If you did use the Mongols for B, all right, you would probably want to discuss a nomadic group also from China, all right? The Jurchen were able to successfully confront the Song. All right. And then a nomadic group actually conquers the Ming Dynasty. AP World folks, do we remember the name of those people who conquered the Ming Dynasty and set up their own dynasty in China? Do we remember the name of that group?
Not the Huns. No, Caitlin. Good guess, though. My AP World folks should know. Although it's been a few weeks since we talked about it. Known for their distinctive hairstyle, the Q. No, that's the name of their dynasty, Kevin. I'm looking for the name of their people, the ethnic group. I told you that they started the Qing dynasty. Hey, push folks, if you guys want to open up the handout that was posted on our Teams page, go ahead and do so. While I try to get my AP World folks to remember the name of this group that will eventually start the Qing dynasty in China. We got some studying to do, don't we? Yeah, you're going to have to look that up then. The name of the nomadic group that conquer the Ming and start the Qing dynasty. And Marissa, I wanted AP World to get it. AP World folks, you should be ashamed. Yes, you are correct. It is the Manchu. Good on you, Marissa. That's what hours of studying will get you. All right. Man, it's been over a year. Look at you. Oh, Marissa. Classic. The Manchu. All right, from northern China. Oh, well. Yeah, YouTube kind of screws up sometimes, Marcella. There's a bit of a delay here, too. I don't know, maybe I missed it. All right, but the Manchus would be a good one there. Alrighty, so we're going to break up into our groups and do some specific AP World A Push stuff, but your assignments are the same, all right? We're going to be dealing with vocab. Now, I do think the best way to study for the AP exam, all right, is to use your historical developments, all right, aka key concepts for you A Push folks, all right, and vocabulary, all right. Yeah, YouTube, there's a delay and things could go do weird things sometimes, but this is just the easiest way to get you guys in the same place. So, all right. Bum, bum, bum. You guys have the same assignments today, although A Push, I think we'll be moving on to like key concept stuff next week. But my AP World folks, I want to spend a few weeks doing vocabulary work. Because if you can memorize certain key terms, these are terms that you can use in your writing as evidence, right? But also, by studying vocabulary, it can actually help remind you about some of the sort of themes in history. So, my AP World folks, you guys are going back to 1200 to 1450, and my A Push folks, you guys are going all the way back, all right, to units 1 and 2. All right, OG stuff, OOG stuff. All right.
The key here is to group vocabulary terms into at least groups of 3. Now, you can do more. And A-push people, if you remember concept maps from last year, this is sort of a similar idea. All right? And then you basically just kind of want to write me a brief narrative about how the different terms are connected. And so I went into this list of vocabulary here. I plucked out fragmented, I plucked out Delhi Sultanate, the Abbasid Caliphate, Egyptian Mamluks, and the Seljuk Turks. And I guess I had Delhi Sultanate twice. Shame on me. All right. And then I wrote my exemplar. So, as the Islamic State, the Abbasid Caliphate fragmented, new Turkish states emerged to continue the traditions of Islamic governments. States such as the Egyptian Mamluks in North Africa, Seljuk Turks in Central Asia, or Persia, if you will. All right, and the Delhi Sultanate in South Asia continued the Islamic tradition of innovation along with aspects of government such as the jizya. So then I would sort of, you can maybe even, if you wanted to, like cross out the words that you've done. How does what work? So that is basically what you're going to do until you can get through all the vocabulary words on the sheet. So you're definitely going to want to do this with groups so you can maybe divide and conquer. Just make sure that you highlight, all right, the vocab terms that you're using. You're probably going to want to cross them out as you go. All right, to cross out text, guys, you just need to highlight it and then hit this little button right up here. Man, I got a delay hardcore. Oh no, you can mix and match, Caitlin. Are there bold ones on your sheet? Any 3, Caitlin. Open up your... You have a separate assignment, Caitlin, but I have an example for you there too. So the key here, guys, make sure that in your sort of narratives, you need to give me a sense that you understand what each word is. And if you want to color code the words, that's fine too. I don't care, do crazy things with it, but just make sure that you're sort of recording these narratives with the vocabulary. You can just start building up your list right below. All right, typing stuff. Now, I want to remind you each that you have access to the definitions and descriptions of all these terms. My A-push folks, you had a master vocabulary list, which should be provided for you. There's a link. If the link doesn't work, it's actually posted in our class materials page. My AP World folks, remember that you can find your vocabulary as well. Yeah, anyone with the link to this stream should be able to find it, Marissa. My AP World folks, you have vocabulary provided as well. So you shouldn't have to be searching the internet for all these terms. All right, they are defined for you. Look at that. Wow. Wow. It's almost like somebody took the time to define all those words as a helpful resource to help you be successful in this class. That's crazy. That's crazy. Talk about time consuming. Caitlin, what the hell, man? You know what? I'm going to take away your master vocabulary list then. No, then I'm gonna kill the link. All right, so my AP World groups, fire up your small group chats. A push, you too. I'm gonna add you guys all together though. Oh, Marcelo, that would just be for AP US, okay? Because you guys are being polite, AP World, so you guys would get the resource. It would only be for A push because Caitlin wanted to get sassy. I don't know why. Caitlin's usually defending me, but she's obviously been spending too much time with Ayuance and Stephanie. Oh, hey guys.
Hello.
I need to add some people to your group.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, we're live? I'm famous.
Oh yeah. I need to stop the stream. Hold on, I can do that. Who else is here from not your group? Oh, I'm gonna see. Oh, an angel.
Oh, why my laugh sounds like that?
Wow.
We're adding everyone.
Joanna.
And Marissa.
Yeah, you guys are gonna just be one mega group because it's easier for me.
A bigger. Oh my goodness. I feel so old. We haven't done this since months.
All right, how do I end this stream? End stream.
Look at you